Hey there, BookTube. Noah. Happy Tag Tuesday, everybody. I was tagged in this book addiction tag by Very Literary Carrie. She's a great booktuber. I believe she's Southern. I can hear it, right? um, she reads a lot of nonfiction. She reads a lot of JFK era um, nonfiction. Very interesting stuff. Very interesting to hear her talk. And I dig your channel, Carrie, so I appreciate the tag. And this is the book addiction tag, so I want to start off just by saying that I get it. I know. You all are here because you care about me. And we're gonna, open up discussion about the book addiction. Right? It's a great tag. So let's get to it. Number one, I got my questions just right up here on the computer this time, so I'm just gonna be glancing over at them and then we'll chat it through, right? Number one, what is the longest amount of time you can comfortably go without picking up a book? Well, I can go a day, but why would I? I could go a day, but I just don't want to, you know what I mean? Comfortably, I can go if things are going on, and I'm a family man. I got, daughters and stuff, and some weekends, I don't read at all, to tell you the truth. There's some weekends where Saturday and Sunday, the book or books that I'm reading right then just kind of sit right where they're at, and I don't pick them up. But over the course of that weekend, even if I don't sit down and read something that I'm reading right then, I'm going to pick up a book or two and look at them and thumb through them and maybe read a little bit. I mean, I got books everywhere in my house. I got books all around. So it's very easy to just, if I'm listening to music or something like that, just to reach over and pick up something off of a stack that I had just recently acquired and check out the first line, or read the back, read the front, read the back of the book, read the flaps or something like that. Maybe read an introduction. Just get familiar with it. So I don't go a day. I don't go half a day without picking up a book ever. You know. Number two, how many books do you carry on your person, physical or device, at any one time? Well, I have a number of books on my phone that, I have there just in case I'm in a pinch, right? And I don't have a physical book with me, but I'm like waiting and I feel like reading something. There's a couple of books on my phone that I do want to read that I was only able to get digital copy. So there's a couple there, but I always have a book with me. Now, if I'm going out with the family, going shopping, grocery shopping, or something like this, then I don't bring a book with me. Um, but when I leave, like when I go to work, I have a book that I take with me just in case I have that downtime and I have an hour, to crush, reading. I have the book that I'm reading currently, pretty much with me at all times that I would be available to read for sure. So at least one. Maybe the answer is more like two or three. Number three, do you keep every book you buy, receive, or are you happy to pass them on to make space for more? I'm happy to pass them on after I'm done. I don't pass on books or give up books to like a used bookstore or thrift store or something like that if I love it and I think I'm gonna uh, revisit it at some point, or if it's for reference, or if it's something where I want to remember it and then I'll get a better copy later, because a lot of times I buy books just in a mass market paperback or a kind of just a floppy edition. And if it's great, kind of like my David Copperfield here, you know what I mean? So I got the Signet Classics David Copperfield, and It's just for reading. So once I'm done with that, if it's something that I'm gonna revisit or something that I do want to keep around, then I'm gonna get another copy, a hardcover edition at some point, and then I'll give that away. And there's a number of books that I have that are sitting there waiting for me to just get a better edition of before I get rid of. But if it's something that I'm not necessarily going to revisit for any kind of reason, then I'll definitely give it up, or I will hold on to it to give it to a specific person, because there's, especially with having the kind of community that we have here, there's always people that would enjoy certain books, right? Number 4, how long would you spend in a bookshop on a standard visit? A standard visit to a bookshop, I spend over an hour for sure. There's some bookshops that are small and I can hit the different sections that I want to hit in less than an hour. But for the most part, a big bookshop that I love, then I'm going to be in there for over an hour. I could probably spend 2 hours in certain bookshops. So, number 5, how much time per day do you actually spend reading? So, on a typical day of reading, I, especially during the week, I probably spend an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours reading. That's just what I go for. That's spending maybe an hour out of the day reading, and then an hour in the evening reading. I don't watch any TV. I don't watch any movies hardly. I probably watch a couple movies a month, and it's very intentional, and they sit there and wait until I make the time to do that, because it's an investment of my time, and I'd really rather spend it reading. So that's what I do when I have my own time around, time for me. Then that time is spent reading, 99% of the time. Um, that's just how it goes. On a bad day, I'll spend maybe 15 to 20 minutes reading. There are those rare days where it's just super busy and then I can't read at all, but those are few and far between. On a typical day, I spend over an hour and maybe closer to 2 hours reading, and that's just where I find my enjoyment. Number 6, where does the task picking up a book appear on your daily to-do list? So, whenever it can happen. What is most typical for me is reading in the evenings after everything is uh, chilled out, or I'll go out into the family area. My girls, you know, pretty much do their own thing. If I'm not playing with Zelda, Zelda is the one that requires the most. She's 6. So she requires attention and to play with her. And I love to do it. So if she's down to play a game, or just hang out, then that's what I'm doing. But if she's doing her own thing, sometimes she gets into playing games on uh, like on the Switch herself, or watching a movie or something like that. Then I'll grab my book and I'll just like be sitting there in the living room, and I'll read while she does her thing. So that's just more time for me to be able to read. And so in the evenings is when it happens most typically, that I can count on, is in the evenings. So number 7, how many books do you reckon you own total, including ebooks? So I just recently started cataloging my books. There's an app that I have on the phone that I can catalog, and I did 3 shelves that are in the living room area, and I was surprised at how many books are actually on those shelves. I have a lot more books than I thought that I did, and I definitely have over 1,000 books. Um, with digital books along with that. I mean, I have probably 400 books on this computer right here. And on my phone, I have at least 20 just random stuff that I've only been able to download. But I don't really go for them. I don't go for the books that are on my phone or on my computer. Out of sight, out of mind, right? But physical books, I would guess about 1,000, maybe more, maybe closer to like 1,100. But we'll see. I'm in the middle of cataloging them now. Let's see. Number 8. Approximately how often do you bring up books in conversation? Um, with somebody new, I bring up books quite a bit. I bring up books for sure because I want to know if they're a reader. I see what they're interested in as far as books are concerned. With friends of mine uh, who aren't readers, then I don't ever bring it up. And friends of mine that are readers, even just in a casual sense, readers, I'll bring it up quite a bit because I'll let them know what I'm reading, um, and just to inspire them and to, especially if it's something that I'm really enjoying or something that I've read recently that I think they would enjoy hearing about or read themselves, then I'll talk to them about it just to, you know, spread the book addiction, right? All I can. Number 9, what's the biggest book page count that you have finished reading? Um, the biggest book, one of the biggest books that I've finished reading is James Clavell's Shogun, which is, just under 1,200 pages. That was a long time ago that I read that. There's a lot of books that I've read that are, you know, around the 1,000 page mark, and I love it. I love big books like that. There's definitely something to be said about big books like that. So I'm gonna go with James Clavell's Shogun for the biggest book that I've finished, but you know there could be something that just beats it out or something like that. Number 10, is there a book you had to get your hands on against all odds? Searched bookstores, online digging, stalked author, etc. So, um, yes. I mean, there's a lot of books, quite a few books that I've been like that on that I just, stalked online presences, eBay or whatnot, to see if I can find at a good price and stuff. And I'm happy to say that I did look up and get the kind of things that come to mind for this. One of them that I'm not going to show just because I didn't grab it is my Folio Society edition of Milton's Paradise Lost with um, William Blake's illustrations to it. But the Princeton University Press edition of Jerusalem, Emanation of the Giant Albion, this I had to have because this is the best full color reproduction of William Blake's Jerusalem, and it's beautifully done. And I had to have it for the Blake study, right? Just had to do it. So I did. I just watched online, watched eBay, and got it for a good price. And I'm happy to say that I did. I love it. The Princeton University Press did an amazing job with all of Blake's illuminated books, and I would actually like to have all of them in that edition. But this was the main one, and another one won't be a surprise to anybody who watches my channel is my first edition hardcover of Flannery O'Connor's The Violent Buried Away. I wasn't. I was just actively watching and searching for this for sure, but these editions run $300 to $400, and so I just thought, now I'm never gonna really get it. I'm not going to get that. Maybe at a later time when, money is not an object, right? But I lucked up and I made a bid on an eBay offer for this edition here, and I got it for like $40. So it can happen, guys. And so I love those editions there, those books, and I'm really happy that I got my hands on them. It took a lot of due diligence. 11. Is there a book you struggled to finish because you refuse to DNF? Yeah. Chuck Palahniuk's Adjustment Day. That was a struggle to finish because I just wasn't really into it at all. It didn't do it for me in any kind of way. The writing was atrocious compared to other Chuck Palahniuk's. It's something that was definitely like phoned in. I feel that way anyways. But I did get through to the end because Chuck Palahniuk always has this kind of twist. And so I was thinking, well, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's not so bad. Maybe it's something that when I get to the twist, things will make sense and it'll be a better book. And maybe. But not so. There is no twist, not a big twist the way that his formula really works. He broke from his formula and it was just a bad book. Number 12. What are three or some of your main book goals for 2021? So my main goal for 2021, you can see my last video that I dropped is a video about Big Book Takeover 2021. That's what it's called. Or otherwise known as my TBR can beat up your TBR. I got 10 books on there that are all over 800 pages. So I've committed to them. It's about 10,000 pages of reading, which is about half of my reading for the year, less than half. But that's my goal, is to stay with that, is to keep on that, and to not quit, not say, okay, that's enough big books. I do have enough wiggle room in between there where I can kind of take a break from the big books, read some small books, knock out a couple little things here and there whenever I feel like, and still remain on track for getting all 10 of those done by the end of the year. So that's just what I'll be doing. That's my main reading goal. I'm not one for big reading goals. I've never set reading goals before, but this is just like a focus on the channel, not so much like a goal, but since I've set it as a focus for the channel, then I want to get those 10 done for sure. Check them out if you hadn't seen that video. Number 13, have you ever had the privilege of converting someone into a reader by inspiration or your incessant nagging? For sure. And I've not nagged. I mean, nobody listens to me anyway. If I'm just like, you should read this, they're not going to read it just because I said so. They're going to read it if they're inspired to read it. So I'm just one of those kind of people that just talks about books and says how awesome they are and then supports it by, different aspects of the book that I found inspiring and cool, that I will inspire somebody to read stuff, even stuff that they never would normally pick up. And number 14, describe what books mean to you in 5 words. I had just kind of thought of a little phrase. Most awesome ever, imaginatively speaking. Books, a really well done book is when you really get your imagination going and you can see it, and a writer does a really good job of presenting something to you. story wise or plot wise or narrative wise. Um, and you're just in that and you can see it. It is the most awesome uh, experience. Imaginatively speaking, your imagination is just, can be opened up very, very well through books. So, most awesome ever, imaginatively speaking. That's books to me. just flexing the imagination, baby. All right, so I didn't think of tagging or who I might tag. This is a tag that has been, gone around. This is a tag that I don't know who the original is because it's just one of those tags like that. So if you haven't done this tag, I would definitely like to see you do it. Um, Feel free if you like this tag to do it because it's just one of those type of tags. All the noobs, all the new channels should do these kind of tags. You should feel free to do all these kind of tags because they are, tags that have just been around and keep going around for months and months and years even because they are just good for talking about your experience with books. So I'm going to go ahead and tag uh, Summer at Cozy Reading with Quaker Cats because you're definitely book addicted. No doubt about it. I love it. Very cool. And let's see, who else is book addicted? I'll go ahead and tag the Bookish Bryants. They're book addicted for sure. Let's tag the Bookish Bryants. I don't know if they've done it yet. And one more. How about Ramsey at Rajathon? He's book addicted for sure. So there's my tags. Hope y'all enjoyed this booktube. Happy Tag Tuesday. Catch you on the next one. Bye bye.